Hello, everybody. So this is like my first vlog ever, and I hope you can hear me because there's like all this construction and like gardening stuff going on outside of the window. Um, but anyway, so last night I had something that I wanted to tell you about. So last night I was taking an Uber home, and it was kind of like a long trip from my friend's house to my house, and we had to like drop this other person off because it was an Uber pool. And like every time I'm in Uber, I always like have all these questions for Uber drivers, but I'm too like embarrassed to ask. But yesterday I was like sitting in the front seat, and I just like wasn't embarrassed for some reason. So I was just like asking him about Uber because I always like want to know how it works, and I'm always like thinking about how there's so many people are Uber drivers, but like it's kind of like mysterious and you don't know like anything about them. So so basically, I was just asking this guy about how it works, and he was like telling me that he usually like tries to drive for like 8 hours a day so that he can like just like make a certain amount of money. That's like his goal, to drive for 8 hours a day. And I was asking him whether or not like if there are certain times of day which are like more profitable than other times of day. And obviously there are like rush hour is busy, but between like 9 and 3 it's not that busy. And I was also asking him like which part, like what areas are um are like more profitable, and he said there were like certain areas, like obviously like in the city are it's like a lot more profitable to be there, like a lot more lucrative. um and also, so that like stemmed this whole other conversation where I was like asking him if he had any limits of where he would go, and he said that he like didn't really have any limits of where he would go. Like if the person was gonna pay him, he would like go someplace, like he would go like really far away. And he said like one time this lady was like gonna like ask to be driven to Florida, um but and he was like gonna do it, but then she like canceled the trip, so he didn't end up doing it. And he said that one time and also Uber drivers like aren't friends with each other. Like I always wondered if Uber drivers were gonna be friends, like are friends with each other, but they're not. Like he said, he doesn't have any friends who are Uber drivers, and they don't like even have like an orientation like I did WAG, that dog walking app. And there and like with WAG there was like you like fill out the application online, but then there's like an orientation that takes like an hour where with like other people. But he said that like there was nothing like that for Uber. So there kind of like isn't like it's kind of funny because like Uber is like but I'm not really sure how many people are like do Uber, but it kind of seems like a lot. Like I kind of just like imagine that like half of the people in this country are Uber drivers, but that's probably not true. But that's just the way that I think about it. And so he doesn't have any friends who are Uber drivers, but he said that like one time this like customer who he was driving like said that this other Uber driver that he had drove from like DC to like California, and then like we were like, whoa, that's so crazy. So I looked up what the longest Uber drive was, and it was like this article from like the end of 2016, so like a year ago. That and like at that point the record was like a 400-mile trip from Virginia to Brooklyn. And but like we were like, oh, maybe this guy could have broken the record and driven to California. And then we were like, oh my god, that's so funny because like that's like so crazy because like he would have to drive like all night like for days. And we were like, what if, or like I was like, what if like they had to like stop at a hotel and like stay in a hotel room together? That'd be so funny. And like what if the like passenger was like, oh, like let's like stop at my aunt's house in Montana, and like the Uber driver and the guy like could stay at the guy's aunt's house for like a night. That'd be so funny. Um So yeah, there's that, the long Uber drive. Let's see. And then we also talked about, well, I guess that's basically all we talked about. But I don't know. I like found out a lot about him, and he told me that he's like from Ghana, but he doesn't like to have friends who are from Ghana because like he said that like in the past they like always his friends who are from Ghana would like use him and stuff, and that's why he like doesn't have friends from Ghana. And he said that his family like lives in Ghana and he sends them money, and I guess that's like basically why he like does Uber and stuff. Um, and oh, and he also said that like, and I asked him like if he was like nervous when he started doing Uber, and he said he's been doing it for like a year and a half. And so like I did WAG for like a month, and it was actually really scary because yeah, I had to go to like people's houses and like meet with their like random dogs who were like all of them had sort of like emotional issues. Like they're all like rescue dogs that were kind of scary and like scared of me and like growled at me and like maybe looked like they were gonna bite me. And and I asked him like if he was like nervous about starting it because you just I guess you just like sign up and you do it because they don't have like an orientation, like nobody like gives them advice on it maybe. And he said yeah he was because that makes sense. You're just like driving to some random house, like some random person's house, like somebody could like murder you or something. But I thought I would be like nervous to like interact with the customers and like and be like, oh, this is my first drive. Like I'm nervous to meet you. Um. Anyway, it was so crazy. It was a really fun car ride. We talked like for 40 minutes. Um, and I got all of my questions about Uber answered. Somebody should write a book about Uber. I bet that somebody's going to write a book about Uber, like in the future, like in 20 years, maybe less. Maybe I'll write that book. Um, yeah, so that's about it. And also, I forgot to say that I also found out that like Uber drivers can only like accept rides from like within their area. So like this guy's like from DC, so like he could like take somebody to like Philadelphia, but he wouldn't be able to take anybody back to DC from Philadelphia. Like he would just like have to like pay for gas and like pay to get home. Like he would like not be able to make money um to by getting back from Philadelphia, which is interesting because like I bet that if you could just like get Uber drives anywhere, then you could just like live in your car and be like a vagabond Uber driver, and um and just like go from city to city, which would be so cool. Like I think it'd be cool if like Uber let people do that. Um, and then there would be like all these like Uber drivers living in their cars, like traveling around the country. And they'd probably go to like Canada and like South America and stuff, which would be like a cool life.